Hey you, what's going on, beauties? Thank you guys for joining your girl for another one. So Sheba is who I am, and I appreciate you so much for tuning in. Now, if this by chance is your first date with me, I need you to hit that subscribe button. All right, so pretty much every time I fall through, you can tap in. And for all of my regulars, you already know what it is. I appreciate you and I love you. So listen, really quickly, it's week 4. Your girl made it all the way to the end of this challenge, and that is an accomplishment for me because I was not feeling it. There was no motivation coming out of challenge 1 to this one, besides knowing I had to do it and having a sense of accountability to get it done. But we are here today, right? So if this is your first time, like, looking at any of the videos, make sure that you go back and check out some of the others. Right now, your girl is on a personal growth journey, and my goal is just to become better, right? First challenge was 28 days to slimmer thighs, and this challenge is 28 days to toner or slimmer arms, and both of those I started off with because those are always my toughest areas physically to work on. They always have been, but on this journey, my goal is not only to see results at the end of the 28 days, but to also create a lot of new habits that I can sustain, new good habits that I can sustain for the long haul, right? Because I don't want this to be a quick fix. I really want this to last, right? And so that's what this is for. Now, the results video, make sure that you tune in next week because that will be the results. I'm excited to share that with you. Hopefully I got to see some improvement, and so we'll kind of start from the beginning to where we are now to see how I improved. All right, so for this one here, again, this is another physical improvement. My goal is not only physical improvement, I do want to focus also on emotional intelligence, improving both my emotional and my spiritual intelligence. And so those will be challenges coming up very soon. But this one is still, the first 2 were physical, right? I do also plan to come back in 3 months to give you updates on pretty much everything that I'm doing so that you can see if I'm living by my word and continuing to stay disciplined in what I'm trying to do. All right, so as I said, the beginning of this was pretty hard for me. I just didn't have any motivation to do it. My goal is 5 days a week of working out, along with being intentional on what I eat and what I put in my body, because although I won't toner arms or slimmer arms, I do understand that I have to lose weight overall, right? So that means not only incorporating the physical activity on a regular basis, but also being intentional about what I put in my body and what I eat. And so I do want to come back and follow up and do a video on that more specifically. I don't want to dab into that so much for this challenge, but I definitely watch my water intake, the amount of food that I consume, and also what type of food that I consume. Okay, I'll go over a little bit more in detail in the next video, in the results video, about what I ate during this time, because I'm just kind of going through a lot of changes right now, so I don't want to overwhelm you. But on this one here, this week here, first couple weeks I did 3 days, and then third week I did 4. This week I did 5. I actually reached that goal. Super proud of myself, and I was just in a zone this week. It started last week, and I just kind of really got in a zone for week 4, and I'm kind of still there because right now I'm working into the next challenge, right? But what I noticed is I started getting complacent in my physical activity. I purchased a mini stepper as my choice of cardio activity. It was very difficult to use when I first started, but now it's still difficult, but it's not like it was. And so I think I've become comfortable with it. And so what I did starting last week, but more so on this last week here, I started incorporating my arm exercises along with the actual physical activity, and it just made the exercise much more challenging. You're going to see in the videos that I post here I was really working out harder, you know, because I had to focus not only on the stepping movement, but also the exercises that I was doing on my arm, and then also trying to make sure that I'm keeping a good form, right? That I'm not straining anything or throwing anything out, because I'm not paying attention to the form that I'm using while I'm doing this. And so, yeah, I mean, it just made the exercise harder, and I worked harder, which is the goal for me. Yeah, so it just made me feel better overall. Now, you are going to see that I'm not only using free weights, but I'm also doing some other exercises, arm exercises. That is because I'm following an app. Now, I am going to put those apps in the video next week for the results. I'll put the 2 apps that I use, because I actually did use 2 different apps because I, you know, just want to kind of to mix up the activities that I was doing and kind of stay interested. But I used 2 different apps. I can say the ones that were not with the weights and were more with just my body weight were hard. Like, they were pretty difficult. It seems simple, but with repetition, that it hurts, right? So most of the arm exercises that you see, I'm doing 3 to 4 sets of 15. Right? And so that's what it's coming down to. And so, like, usually 15 minutes of cardio, and then incorporating the arms, or in this instance, most of the days, I just did both at the same time. But I did love the fact that I felt challenged at the end of it, right? And so I can't say, you know how sometimes sometimes I can tell when I'm losing weight. I can't tell it right now, but I feel better, right? So I can't tell you that I just see results, but I can tell you I feel better. My body feels better. Some aches and pains that I had, I no longer have. And I know that's with me being intentional with some of the changes I've made over the last 2 to 3 months, and so that in itself is encouraging me to continue to be better. And but yeah, some of the aches and the pains that I've had have just ceased. I feel lighter. My clothes fit a tad bit better. And I never have been one of those to weigh myself. I kind of stopped weighing myself about 4 years ago. I'll know what my weight is when I go to the doctor, and there's a story behind this. I just went for my annual checkup here recently, and was pleasantly surprised. Well, let me take that back. I wasn't pleasantly surprised. I wasn't happy with the number that they gave me on that scale, because in my mind, I had told myself, I had coached myself that I was doing pretty good, but that number said differently. And so what it did was it gave me that extra boost of motivation, which is at the end of this challenge, actually, week 3. Was when I started getting back in my vibe, and that's why. Because my mind was telling me I was doing well, but that number let me know I'm not doing as well as I could be. And I wasn't progressing as much as I should. Even though I didn't know what my beginning weight was, I felt like it should have been better than what that was, if that makes sense. So anyway, yeah, that made a difference, right? So I'm excited to show you about next week. Yeah, for all of you that's on this journey with me, and your journey is not mine, your journey is your own, but whatever that journey is, I hope it's to becoming better. All right, and so all of you that's on that with me, let's keep each other accountable. You definitely keep me accountable, and want me to continue, and push me to continue to do better and move forward. And so not just you, but for myself, right? And then I also have there's some other things I have in mind, you know, and I don't think I can get there without being better, right? So anyway, next week, actually less than 4 days, results are coming. Leave those comments, questions below. You know, I adore, so that I can respond as soon as possible. And as I always say, be kind. You know, it's free. It's free, right? Be kind, be a blessing to someone else, and you and your families stay blessed. It's your girl Sheba signing off. Until the next time. Bye-bye.